We support the troops, right? But they deserve the best of everything, right? Then how come they never get it? How about this number? Deaths among VA patients jumped 5-fold since the start of this month. Unemployment, higher than we've seen in years for veterans. The toll on veterans, not getting a lot of attention, is it? Let's change that right now. You know who's been tracking this in real time and encouraging people like me to open our mouths about it? Iraq War vet PJ Rieckhoff, amazing podcast called The Angry American. Welcome back to Primetime. PJ says, if you ain't angry, it's because you're not paying attention. And this issue falls right in that category. Brother, best to you, the wife, the kids, that you stay healthy because we need you. What's the reality of what's happening with our veterans?
Well, first off, good to see you, man. Glad to see you're on the mend and wishing you and Christina the best. And you and your brother continue to really drive some important leadership here and inspire the country. So thank you for that. The bottom line is the VA, the Department of Veterans Affairs, was not ready. They said they were ready. They put out public statements saying they were ready, and they're not ready. They say there's enough PPE for frontline workers, and frontline workers across the country are saying there's not. Now frontline workers in Brooklyn and Atlanta are protesting. So either the frontline workers were lying or the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Robert Wilkie, was lying. And the Wall Street Journal revealed today that internal memos that he saw said that they didn't have enough. So they haven't had enough. They haven't been ready. And you mentioned it, 5x increase in the number of veterans that have died. And they've only tested about 50,000 people since this all began. Your brother in New York tests more than that in 2 days. So they haven't been ready. They're not ready. They're not being honest, and they're not being transparent. And the entire country should be angry about that.
Weeks ago, you were saying on Twitter, where's Wilkie? Where's Wilkie? There are concerns about this. They just turned down money for the VA. They said they've got enough. First of all, who turns down money? And that he hadn't been out in front. And now we're seeing why. And the vulnerability goes on what we're seeing right now. 13 million veterans are above 55 years of age, and many have underlying complications, and that makes them vulnerable to this.
Yeah, more than half of the 9 million veterans that are served by VA are over 65. And now we're starting to see them get hit really hard. One state-run veterans home in Holyoke, Massachusetts, has 56 dead. 56 dead in one veterans home in one city. And now they're breaking out in 16 other states around the country. And Secretary Wilkie can't even be bothered to do daily press briefings. He's been invisible in the national media. He hasn't been driving support down to the local level. He probably won't come on with you. So that's why we've been using the hashtag Where's Wilkie. It's not just about him not doing media or not being out in public. It's about him not leading. He needs to lead strongly. He needs to lead aggressively. He needs to be transparent. Why have they only tested 50,000 people in the Veterans Department since this began? And another important point, Chris, they're not even disclosing how many veteran VA employees are dead. They won't even tell you how many of their employees have died. The Department of Defense can tell you how many people died on one single aircraft carrier, but the VA can't tell you how many have died across the entire national system.
Can't or won't becomes the question. And what will give us the answer to that is pressure. The kind that PJ Rieckhoff, a celebrated veteran who serves this country day in, day out, just like he did overseas. Thank you for sounding the alarm here and elsewhere. We will respond to the call. PJ, bless you and thank you.
Thank you, brother. Get well soon. We appreciate you.